Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd make it a part 2 of my story. Welcome to the new subscribers. I hope this helps. Please enjoy my content and subscribe if you're new to it. Let's kick off. So in the first part I left you when we first moved to Cheshire in July 99. The second part's going to start a year later. Pretty much exactly a year later. Everything the first year over there wasn't spectacular, but it was comfortable. Nothing really. New place, getting settled in. You know the routine when you move. Because I'm sure a lot of you have done that in the time. Having said that, we come to July of 2000. Things start to go awry very quickly. I'm in year 8 and bullying started. First of all in school. And it's not just your normal name calling, petty crap. It's your full on black and blue, the whole 9 yards. Whilst I was dealing with the bullying, my cousin decided to come over for a weekend when we were living on the campsite. And he's big into fun fairs, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, etc, etc. So am I. And I was the only one that would actually go on the rides with him. So this particular weekend, he come over to the site we were on and invited me with some of the family, extended family. I jumped at the chance. Obviously getting into my teenage, getting out, I jumped at the chance. Unbeknownst to me and anybody around at the time, another guy had heard who lived on the site, who'd obviously overheard the conversation, either walking past or I don't know. But 2 weeks later, he plucked up the courage to come round and ask my parents if he could do the same, only a bit on a more regular basis. So it started, obviously my parents accepted. Again, I jumped at the chance. Free day out for me, so I jumped at the chance. Everything went alright for the first month. Then things started to go sour very quickly. The days out were excellent. Loved every minute of them. However, getting back on the site, he'd make sort of tea at his place and then I'd go over back home. Obviously not knowing, not looking into anything, I just went along with it. And it ended up with a case that later on in life, I, through my mental health, and through a particular breakdown I had at a particular time, which will come later on in a later video, I ended up with a company called Savarna. S-A-V-A-R-N-A. Now I'll let you guys look that up yourself. That will explain what happened, rather than me going into long detail. You'll get a much better picture of it. Plus I don't want to I don't want to overcomplicate things. So I was with a company called, I ended up with a company called Savani later on. But while this was happening, this was every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from the second week in August up until July of 2003. So it was a huge part of growing up. So plus I was bearing that as well. So not only was I bearing the bullying per se, I was also bearing that as well, which really took a toll on me in the end. I didn't tell anybody about it. Obviously the bullying I did. That got curtailed a couple of years later. But again, that was quite vicious at times. Or it could be. I struggled a lot through school. Because the majority of what I struggled with was lone wolfage. Didn't have many friends. Didn't get up to much outside of school. Never really had a core group of friends, if you like. I had the occasional friend, but it was more acquaintance rather than friend. So that didn't really help me. I'd always struggled with schoolwork from a young age. Not particularly the work, but the speed and all the rest of it, which I've mentioned before in previous videos. And it just got to the point where it was taking a toll on my life at this point. Again, I still hid it. Nobody knew. The bullying has subsided by the end of 2003. By the end of the school, July. The bullying has subsided. So I forgot that basically. I was more worried about burying what happened. Let's say it wasn't easy. It got to the stage where I was putting that much face paint on just to get through a day that I get up the next morning thinking, well, how many layers do I need this time? Which isn't the way to live. And the only reason it stopped was because in 2003 I moved to college. And if anybody knows college life, it can get quite overwhelming quite quickly, depending on how much you're doing. I didn't look at it as college, I looked at it as sixth form, which was the way I got through most of the stuff. I did 3 years of that, then I started working. With being a lone wolf, I was okay through college. I was not too bad through college. I was a bit of a loner, but nothing to the extent that I was in school. I never really socialised with a lot of people, but I did hang out with a lot of people during college. So that sort of made up for the hanging out, if you like. Then it started work in 2006. I first started having newly been qualified as a fitness trainer. I started customer service and a bit of fitness programs, nothing major. That didn't last too long. One, I didn't fit in. I never fitted the mould. I've never been one of them that yes sir, no sir. I've always said my piece if I needed to. It just didn't work. It just wasn't working. The hours were getting gradually short. I signed 40 hours a week. I was ending up travelling best part of 2 hours for under 10 hours a week. It just wasn't worth it in the end. So I left there. Then I got a couple of customer service jobs, nothing major. One volunteering job. Then come the biggest job that I had, which was customer service in a hot food deli. Now the job was quite decent. The people were okay until you hit warm weather. Then it become a pain in the rear end very quickly. Both the job and the people. And I wasn't too good myself. I started there, I believe, 2008, November 08, I believe. Either October or November 2008. It wasn't the easiest job in the world. I enjoyed it. It was quite a high class customer base, because it was Knutsford, Cheshire. And if anybody knows Knutsford area, it's not posh, but it's upper class. Let's just say that. Not particularly snobby. But I did have my routine of customers that were quite high caliber custom. For example, an ex-soccer player, Manchester United soccer player in Bobby Charlton. For any UK subscribers, Rita Fairclough, Norris and the Shop from Coronation Street, Rita, and Hot Pot Betty Driver from the Rover's Return, Hot Pot Betty, who was one heck of a character, shall we say. We got on like a house on fire. We really did get on well. So that was the type of people that would get in. By the way, all three wouldn't have anybody else serve them, only me. One, I knew their orders off by heart. And two, my speed of service was unmatched in their eyes. Especially Betty Driver. I had recommendation after recommendation of Betty Driver. I enjoyed the job, although it can get very hard work very quickly, like I said before. Then my mum and dad come up with the idea of, in 2005, of buying a place abroad, which duly happened. We had it all renovated up, and in 2009 we finally had it finished, and all three of us went over there. And I'm not on about holiday, I'm on about properly, which was quite an experience in itself. I'd never lived abroad before. I've been many times, but never lived abroad. The language was quite something else. The place was Bulgaria. It was quite an experience and quite a shock to the system over there. I loved every second of it. Every second of it. We left in the May of 2009, up until November of 2009. I still love the place to this day. The place and the people. Love it to bits. However, my dad decided to, while we were going out for a drink one weekend, I don't drink personally. I'm in a cola. I'm in a soft drink. But we were out in the bar in the village that we had the house in, which was Konstantinovo. Was the village. It was only a small village, but it was only 15 minutes from one of the biggest airports in the country, second biggest, I believe. And it was quite an experience, to say the very least. And in November, like I say, it was a Friday night, about 11:30ish, 11 at night. Walking back to the house, my dad taps me on the shoulder. Something's happening with me and your mum. Don't say anything. So obviously my head's spinning then. What's going on? I'm having so many thoughts going through my head. To which I got, his feelings are changing. Let's just leave it at that. I did tell him that night that I'd explain very quickly if I was him and not to sit on it. But he decided to completely sit on it and invited a friend over, or so I believed at the time. Was a quite close friend actually, and had been so for quite a number of years. I'd grown up with her as a close friend, who I then found out was my dad's new, or was going to be my dad's new partner. And one particular day, while she was over, he stupidly left his phone on the table in the living room. It goes off. Mum just picks it up, curiosity of the noise, to give to him. And the text automatically comes up on, or did come up on his phone. I'm not going to repeat it. Let's just say it was on the romantic side, shall we say. And all hell broke loose. It was World War III D-Day all over again. And from that day, the person that was visiting left about 10 days later, 11 days later. And when she returned to England through Manchester Airport, her first words as she got her bags and left the airport was, "I'm out of jail." So you can imagine what it was like. It was... I can't even explain how many things got flung across the room of all kinds. Butter knives, remotes, forks, anything with an edge to it, apart from proper knives. And to be honest, I'm surprised they weren't chucked in as well, to be honest with you. Because it was absolute chaos till we left in May 2010 to come back to UK. Having got back to the UK, we all come back with a suitcase each, period. That's all we had. One suitcase each. Clothes, you name it. It's all in the case. We had one case each. Well, the three of us. As we collect the cases, we wander down to the exit for Manchester Airport. I get a tap again on the shoulder from father. I turn round, and his exact words, word for word, "What life do you want?" was his exact statement. I look at him and I'm going, what are you talking about? What are you on about? This is, what, 2 hours after me land? Roughly, give or take. After almost 7 months of hell, he turns to me immediately as we're leaving and goes, "Which life do you want?" So I'm thinking, okay, where's he going with this? The next statement I get, "You've got 5 minutes to choose which life you want. Do you want to be with Mum or do you want to be with me? I've got a taxi over there, you've got 5 minutes." And that was the only thing he said. It was all he said to me. I picked my mum for 2 reasons. One, she was the elder of the 2 parents, so she needed me a lot more. And secondly, which I have explained this to my father already, he knows exactly how I feel. And secondly, I wanted a life. Because it had been a case where I'd have to do this, he'd come with me. "Why do you want to do that? You're not good enough for this, blah, blah, blah." He was one of them people. And I thought, no, I've had enough of that. I could not believe, after everything that I'd been put through, and everything I was dealing with at the time, still hadn't told about the secret, by the way. We left. He basically got in a taxi, gone. And from that day, I have not had a proper conversation with him to this date. From that day. From that evening. I have not had one proper conversation with my father since. He will not tell me what is going on with certain things. Period. He just will not tell me. I've not had a proper conversation about it since. He won't do it. Which took a hell of a lot out of me. To this point, I'd still not spoken about what happened from 2000 to 2003. Still not. Things, I'm going to leave it at that, because in the next part, things started to go wrong here. So I'm going to leave it there for the second part of the story, as to when we come back in the night of May 10th, I believe, 2010. I hope I haven't been too, how can I say it? I hope you can understand how much I've been through at this current time to that current time. If you like the video, please like it and leave a comment if you feel you want to. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this has been a nice insight into part 2. Part 3 will be coming as soon as I can. Apologies about the month gap, but I've got to get myself in the right frame of mind to discuss it. Please leave a like and comment, and I will speak to you soon. Take care all, stay safe, and enjoy your life. Bye now.